This is why you need to be cautious with your prenup. Marriage, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? A celebration of love, a commitment for life. But let's be realistic, folks. We don't go into business without a contract, and marriage in its own way is a business partnership. That's where prenuptial agreements come in. They're not about planning for failure, but about planning for protection. Now, you might think a prenup is ironclad, but let me tell you, I've been told about many a horror story to know it's not always the case. There are loopholes, oversights, and sometimes downright dirty dealings that can render a prenup as useful as a wet book of matches, or for you younger viewers, a lighter without any fluid. So, whether you're considering a prenup, already have one, or just love a good legal drama, stick around. I'm about to break down the top 10 reasons why your prenup might be thrown out faster than a cheating spouse at a marriage counseling retreat. This is not legal advice. It is solely based on my conversations with family law lawyers, and my experience being divorce-raped in Southern California court. Be very cautious when it comes to the ball and chain and seek professional legal help. Number 1 on our hit parade of prenup pitfalls is lack of full disclosure. This one's a no-brainer, folks. Imagine going into a poker game and hiding aces up your sleeve. Not only is it unfair, it's a surefire way to get yourself thrown out. A prenup works the same way. Both parties have to lay all their cards on the table. Income, assets, debts, the whole shebang. If one spouse tries to play hide and seek with their finances, whether it's a secret offshore account or a stash of gold bars under the mattress, the entire agreement could be toast. Remember, honesty is not just the best policy, it's the law. And if you try to pull the wool over someone's eyes, you're going to answer to Lord Vader. A prenup should be signed with a clear head and a willing heart, not under duress or coercion. Forcing someone to sign a prenup is like forcing them to eat broccoli. They might do it, but they're not going to be happy about it. If one party feels pressured, threatened, or backed into a corner, the agreement is about as solid as a house of cards in a hurricane. This isn't just about physical threats, people. It's about emotional manipulation, too. Did someone threaten to call off the wedding unless the prenup was signed? Did they use guilt trips or ultimatums? Remember, a prenup should be a symbol of trust and understanding, not a weapon of manipulation. Let's talk about fairness, shall we? A prenup shouldn't be a tool to leave one spouse high and dry, while the other one sails off into the sunset on a yacht made of $100 bills. If the terms of the agreement are so one-sided that they shock the conscience of the court, and trust me, I heard about some doozies, it's going to get tossed out faster than a week-old bagel. This isn't about guaranteeing an equal split, mind you. It's about ensuring that both parties are treated fairly and that neither one is left destitute or taken advantage of. Remember, a prenup should be a safety net, not a straitjacket. Look, I get it. Lawyers are expensive. But you know what's more expensive? Getting stuck with a bad prenup. That's why it's crucial for both parties to have their own independent legal counsel review the agreement before signing on the dotted line. Think of it like getting a second opinion before a major surgery. You want to make sure you're not getting more than you bargained for. A good lawyer will explain the ins and outs of the agreement, make sure you understand your rights and obligations, and negotiate on your behalf to ensure you're getting a fair deal. Remember, going into a prenup without a lawyer is like going into a lion's den with a raw steak. You're just asking for trouble. We're not talking about fancy calligraphy here, folks. Legal formalities are the nuts and bolts that make a prenup legally binding. This means the agreement has to be in writing, signed by both parties, and sometimes even notarized or witnessed. Skipping these steps is like forgetting to put gas in your car. You might look good behind the wheel, but you're not going anywhere. And don't even think about scribbling something on a napkin and calling it a day. A prenup is a serious legal document, and it needs to be treated as such. Remember, the devil is in the details, and overlooking the formalities is a surefire way to end up in legal hot water. Life is full of surprises, isn't it? And sometimes those surprises can throw a wrench into even the most well-crafted prenups. If there's been a significant change in circumstances since the agreement was signed, a court might decide to revisit the terms. We're talking about major life events here, folks. The birth of a child, a serious illness, a job loss, or even a lottery win. These events can dramatically alter a couple's financial situation, and a prenup that seemed fair and reasonable at the time might no longer hold up. Remember, a prenup should be a living document, capable of adapting to the ebbs and flows of life. Chapter 7. Picture this. It's the eve of the wedding, the flowers are arranged, the cake is ordered, and suddenly, one partner whips out a prenuptial agreement. Not exactly the most romantic gesture, is it? If a prenup is sprung on someone at the 11th hour, with little time to review or seek legal advice, it's going to raise more red flags than a bullfighting ring. Courts are wary of agreements signed under pressure, and a last-minute prenup screams coercion louder than I do when someone tries to pull a fast one. Remember, a prenup should be a collaborative effort, not a last-minute ambush. Now let's be clear about something. A prenup is not a free pass to write your own laws. You can't just throw anything you want in there and expect a court to enforce it. If the agreement contains provisions that violate public policy, like waiving child support or encouraging divorce, it's going to get thrown out faster than a bad piece of fish. Courts have a duty to uphold the law and protect the best interests of children. Any attempt to circumvent these principles is a non-starter. Remember, a prenup should operate within the bounds of the law, not try to rewrite it. Remember what I said about honesty? Well, it applies double when it comes to prenups. If one party lies, cheats, or misrepresents their financial situation during the creation of the agreement, it's grounds for invalidating the whole thing. This isn't just about fudging your income or downplaying your assets, it's about full transparency and good faith. If you're going to enter into a legally binding agreement, you better come clean about your financial past, present, and even your potential future. Remember, a prenup built on lies is like a house built on sand. It's only a matter of time before it all comes crashing down. Now this last one might sound a bit technical, but stick with me. In some jurisdictions, a prenup needs what's called consideration to be valid. What does that mean in plain English? It means both parties have to bring something of value to the table. This doesn't always have to be money or assets. It can be something as simple as agreeing to the terms of the prenup itself. But if one party gets everything they want, and the other gets nothing in return, the agreement could be deemed unenforceable. Remember, a prenup should be a two-way street, not a one-sided power grab. So, there you have it. 10 reasons why your prenup might be worth less than a $3 bill. Look, I'm not saying prenups are bad. In fact, when done right, they can be a valuable tool for couples looking to protect their financial futures. But like any legal document, they need to be crafted carefully, reviewed thoroughly, and entered into with full transparency and a healthy dose of common sense. Remember, a prenup is not a magic wand that will solve all your problems. It's a legal document that requires careful consideration, open communication, and a commitment to fairness. Don't let the excitement of the wedding bells drown out the importance of protecting your financial well-being. Get everything in writing, seek independent legal advice, and make sure you understand exactly what you're signing. Because when it comes to prenups, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And trust me, you don't want to end up wishing you had done things differently. Share this information with your loved ones. Feel free to talk about your experiences below, especially if you are a law professional. You just might be saving some poor soul from drowning in billable hours and years of stress. At the end of it all, life is taking care of the important people in your life, caring for your health, investing your time wisely, and most importantly, avoiding cooked-up allegations in restraining orders and efficiency apartments.